General Hospital shocker. Drew and Willow's plane crash. Jason's life changes forever. Port Charles is about to be rocked by a tragedy that will change everything. Just when things were beginning to calm down after recent upheavals, General Hospital is pulling the rug out from under fans with a devastating twist. In a storyline packed with heartbreak, secrets, and unexpected heroism, Drew Kane and Willow Tate's plane goes down, and Jason Morgan is thrust into a position that he never imagined, becoming the guardian of 3 innocent children, and maybe something even more shocking, the keeper of a final secret Drew never had the chance to reveal. Get ready for an emotional roller coaster, GH fans. This is the story that will define spring 2025. It all started as a quiet getaway, a trip Drew had planned for Willow as a thank you after everything she'd endured during her cancer recovery, her betrayal by Nina, and the emotional tug-of-war over Wiley's safety. With Michael and Carly's blessing, Willow accepted Drew's offer to accompany him on a short, private flight to a wellness retreat just outside Colorado. It was supposed to be peaceful, uneventful. But General Hospital doesn't do uneventful. Just 1 hour after takeoff, the plane experienced technical failure, sending Drew and Willow into a tailspin, literally and figuratively. Back in Port Charles, the first to hear the distress call from the flight was Anna Devane, who scrambled the WSB's emergency protocol due to Drew's status as a former operative. Jason, who had only just begun adjusting to life outside of the shadows after his miraculous return, was mid-conversation with Carly when the call came in. Jason's reaction was immediate, stoic, but sharp. His eyes said it all. Drew's plane went down, Anna confirmed. And Willow was with him. Carly's scream was visceral. Michael dropped his phone. Scout, still at the Coeur d'Alene mansion, asked why her Aunt Monica looked like she'd just seen a ghost. For 2 agonizing days, the search was on. Dante, Chase, and even Jordan joined forces with the WSB to comb the mountain range. When a signal finally pinged from Drew's emergency transmitter, all of Port Charles held its breath. Willow's body was found first, unconscious, but miraculously alive. Her pulse was faint, her leg crushed beneath the twisted wreckage, but she was breathing. Drew, however, was nowhere to be found. The wreckage indicated he might have been thrown from the plane, or worse, wandered into the wilderness to seek help. The freezing temperatures and his unknown whereabouts led to a grim announcement just hours later. Willow awoke in GH 3 days later, surrounded by Michael, Carly, and Nina, who clung to the edge of the room like a ghost. Willow's first words weren't about herself. "Where's Drew?" Silence. Her sobs filled the room when Michael broke the news. But then she whispered something none of them expected. "I have to talk to Jason. Right now." Jason appeared minutes later, and the scene between them was unforgettable. Whispering through tears, Willow took his hand. "Before the crash,
Drew told me something.
Something you need to know." Jason leaned in as Willow struggled to speak. What she told him was not only devastating, it would alter the fates of 3 children forever. According to Willow, Drew had been keeping a secret, one only recently uncovered while he was working with the WSB and covertly investigating an old enemy, Cyrus Renault. In that investigation, Drew discovered a connection to a woman he'd once helped rescue during a private mission. The woman, Cassandra Rain, had given birth to twins just weeks after their encounter and had a daughter already from a previous relationship. Drew had recently confirmed via DNA that the twin boys were his biological sons. He'd intended to return from the trip and share the truth with Scout and Jason first, and then find a way to bring the boys home. But now Drew was gone. The twins, only 5 years old, were currently living in a private safe house in Geneva under a pseudonym, under the protection of Drew's former contact, WSB agent Heather Ryan. The third child, Cassandra's 10-year-old daughter named Emmy, had no biological tie to Drew, but he'd taken her in as his own during the early weeks of the WSB's operation, when Cassandra was killed in a shootout. Drew had quietly arranged for her guardianship, in the event of his death, to pass to Jason Morgan. Jason, a man already rebuilding his relationship with Scout and Danny. Now, tasked with protecting 3 more children. Alone. Jason took the news with the solemnity fans have come to expect, a clenched jaw, glassy eyes, and his signature silence that speaks volumes. But inside, a war was raging. How could he take on more children? Children he'd never met, children born from Drew's past. Carly, however, knew the answer. "You don't ask how, Jason," she whispered as she held his hand. "You just do it. That's what we do. That's what you do. They need you." In that moment, Jason made a quiet vow. He would honor Drew. He would raise these children. But there was one more surprise waiting. When Monica Quartermain heard the full story, she nodded with a strange sense of peace. Then, she pulled Jason aside and dropped a final bombshell. "There's something Drew never told anyone," she said softly. "Cassandra, she wasn't just anyone. She was your cousin, Alan's niece. That means those boys, they're Quartermains. Just like you." Jason's eyes widened. Not only was he now responsible for Drew's legacy, he was protecting family. Again. Jason, Carly, and Anna flew to Geneva under WSB escort. The safe house was a small villa tucked into the snowy Alps. When Jason walked through the door and saw the two dark-haired boys curled up together on a blanket, his heart cracked. Then a small voice said, "Are you my daddy's brother?" Jason nodded. "Yes." "Are you going to take us home?" Jason kneeled.
Yeah.
"I am." The older girl, Emmy, stood off to the side, eyes full of suspicion. "You better not lie," she warned. "I've lost too many people already." Jason gave her a look only he could. Fierce, solemn, true. "I don't lie. Not about this." Back at the Quartermain mansion, Jason returned with the children in tow. Olivia cried. Brooklyn stepped in to help. Sam arrived with Danny, unsure how to feel. But it was Scout who made the most impact. She ran into her father's jacket, the one Jason had brought home, and wept. "Is he really gone?" Jason pulled her close.
He's not gone, baby. He's in you. And he's in them.
"We're going to take care of each other now." And so began a new chapter, for Jason, for Drew's children, for the Quartermains, and for General Hospital.